Hello YouTube, welcome back to Kind Heart Homestead. If you saw the last episode, you knew that I rented this track hoe machine in anticipation of starting the footing for our solar shed. As with any rental, I like to maximize my use of it, try to queue up a bunch of tasks to do while I have the machine. And even though I had only rented this for 24 hours, they actually gave me most of the next day for free because they didn't have anyone reserved to rent it. So you can see here I'm trying to define our driveway a bit more. If you recall from our driveway installation videos, you've seen drone footage where the driveway just kind of terminates at the top of the hill, and then it's kind of up to you once you get up there where you want to go. And that's fine because we didn't really have any structures or anything. But now that we have kind of a camp set up and I'm designating an area for the septic, the well, and our solar shed, it's time to start trying to use a defined driveway space so we don't start running over things that are in progress. So here you can see the flags. I spaced them out about 12 feet apart for the width of the driveway. And I'm just kind of skimming the top, getting the grass off. I'm trying not to dig as deep as I did when I had the skid steer. So stick around if you want to see me start on the solar shed. This video is about the digging of the footer. So to start things off for the new solar shed, I had to select a location. At the top of the gravel driveway, right at the flat spot, I decided to put the solar shed there, slightly uphill from the septic field, and I want this to be the first structure that feeds the septic tank. This is going to have a laundry room and a bathroom, and it's going to output directly to the septic tank, which is going to be about 12 feet away. So that's going to reduce the amount of piping and trenching that I have to do. But the reason it's there is because it's the perfect spot for our solar array. And I know that you can save a lot of wiring costs if you put your inverters and batteries as close as you can to the solar panels. And I have looked at other areas in the property for a good spot for the solar array, and there just doesn't seem to be anything ideal. I can go farther up the hill, but that's up the hill from our building sites for the houses. So whether I want to do one house or two houses, whatever the case may be, I want to have this future-proofed, and I don't want to potentially shade out solar panels in the future. So the solar panels need to be downhill from the buildings, but I also don't want them to be so far down the hill that they get shaded by those trees you see off in the distance. So this is basically prime area right in the center of our grassy pasture area, and our hill is south facing. The camera angle you see here is roughly east facing. Once I start recording those videos, I'll post them and you'll get a better understanding of what I'm doing with solar. But for now, I'm putting up string lines roughly parallel to where the solar array is going to be placed. It's a huge relief to have now settled on a place for the solar shed, but there's a lot of work left to do. So let's see how long it takes to get the footers dug, and then we'll move on to the next phases of the project. So after squaring up the string, I put these, I don't actually know what you call them, but these boards that kind of go beyond the perimeter, and they hold the string. All right, well, this is way more difficult than I thought it would be. When I measured the string lines, I knew that one side was about a foot different in elevation than the opposite foot across the diagonal. Sorry, the opposite corner. And with this machine, you can only take so much dirt at a time. So basically what I figured out how to do is I scrape the high spots and kind of bulldoze it, but before I accumulate more dirt, lift the blade, go over it, and then back drag it. That way there's not a huge pile of dirt that I'm pushing across. Anyway, I'm just ready to do my final check, and this is just of the main slab area. I have to do deeper footings after this, but I just want to make sure that I don't need to bring the machine back into the middle before I start doing the perimeter. All right, everything seems to be plus or minus 1 inch. And because of the mud prints that the treads leave, I think that once this gets compacted with rain, or if I rake it, it might kind of average out. I don't really want to have a huge variation because then it's harder to calculate the concrete. I think if you had an unlimited budget, it wouldn't matter as much how sloped it is because you'll just get level concrete. But I want my forms to be level, and I don't want there to be big gaps under the forms where I have to double things up. So I'm gonna put my string line back up, move all this dirt, and then come back around to do the footings. Hello everyone, sorry about the noise, it's very windy today. I'm still wearing my base layers that I put on when I got dressed this morning, and I haven't taken them off because of this cold wind. Anyway, I'm walking over to the foundation. Oh, so cold. Foundation of the shed. I spent many hours today, and even though I've already eaten dinner and the sun's setting, I still have another couple hours of work to do because the footings are not complete yet. So basically I graded the area, which took a lot of effort. And then after I graded it, based on that grade, I then started digging down. So there's a difference in height between the outside of everything, which is native ground level, to this height, which is going to be under the slab. And I don't know if I need to use a plate compactor or not. This is native compact ground, several inches underneath. It's actually over a foot down on that side, and it's just ground level on this side. What I need to do now is go around with my laser level and make sure the footings are deep enough. These need to be down to the frost line, which is 18 inches below ground level. I love building things, so I think this project is going to be really fun, especially once I get past this footing project. I've never done poured concrete before, so this footing is definitely going to take a lot of time and energy for me. I like to make sure everything is better than what code suggests. So I'm going to potentially overbuild this footing, but I'm going to try to build with all the same techniques that I'm planning to use for our house. So this is all a learning process to give me some experience before I build the house. And if you're interested in seeing videos like this, I encourage you to subscribe. That's the best way you can support our channel right now. And then you'll be notified about future videos in the series where I complete the solar shed. Thank you.